Anies Baswedan diangkat oleh Kerajaan Arab Saudi sebagai anggota Dewan Penasehat Royal Commission for Riyadh City atau RCRC. Lembaga ini adalah otoritas pemerintah tertinggi yang bertugas mentransformasi dan memajukan ibu kota Arab Saudi. Gimana kawan? Keren nggak Abah Anies? Orang cerdas, orang hebat itu tidak hanya dibutuhkan di dalam negeri, tidak hanya dibutuhkan di Indonesia, bahkan negara-negara maju di luar sana sangat membutuhkan Anies Baswedan. Ya, kita semua tahu Arab Saudi adalah salah satu negara peringkat atas di dunia yang berkembang dan maju dalam segala bidang. Ya, Abah Anies dijadikan Dewan Penasehat di Arab Saudi. Mantap. Ini kalau berita ini dibaca atau didengar oleh ternak Mulyono, mereka pasti kelabakan, mereka pasti kejang-kejang.
Event. No hikmah is coming before the event, before the crisis. So now it's time for us to start learning, picking up some of those lessons and prepared us better for future challenges. We hope we don't have to face similar challenge, but if we do, what are key lessons learned that we can pick up from the crisis that we had? So allow me to share some of the basics about Jakarta. Okay, yeah. Just a minute. Let me make sure. All right. Give you basic data. Jakarta is a city of 11 million people within the city, plus its surrounding, its neighboring cities, another 23 millions. So plus minus, it's about 35 million people in that area. And the city contributed about 17% of Indonesian economy. So on the one hand, we are congested in terms of populations. The number is 11 millions compared to the entire Indonesia, which is 270 millions. So the proportion is small, but on the other hand, our contribution to the economy is huge. And Jakarta is the gateway of Indonesia. If you enter Indonesia, then the gateway is Jakarta, and if you're departing to the world, it's always through Jakarta. So when we started to see a contagious virus in Wuhan, at that time it was December 2019, we were monitoring in Jakarta, and at that time it was still called pneumonia Wuhan. It wasn't called COVID, and I think SARS-CoV-2 virus was there but rarely mentioned. It was basically pneumonia Wuhan, and we are monitoring closely. Why the Jakarta government monitoring closely? Because our city is having direct connection with Wuhan. There's many direct flights coming in, and then our city is the hub of Indonesia. If we are having problems, then the rest of Indonesia will, at some point, also experiencing what we are experiencing. So it was our concern. And I remember in the beginning of January 2020, we had meetings with inter-departments representative. And those meetings, the immigration was invited, the intelligence office was invited, all agencies that relates to mobility, that relates to international travels were all invited. It is a rare occasion because Jakarta government rarely inviting all those agencies that deal with international travelers. Usually it is, we're dealing with domestic travelers, but this time was international travelers. The question was this: how many people coming back from international places where the virus have been detected then? And our data was so minimum. We had minimum database on tracking people. And I think at that time, we're not tracking people yet. We're not identifying where have you been visiting of cities, of countries at that time. So very minimum information. So immediately, we start our second approach. Let's identify to anyone who have symptoms similar to pneumonia Wuhan. So we send like a booklet, like a instruction book to all hospitals in Jakarta. If you are seeing patients with these symptoms, do report to us. What basically we're doing is this: let's anticipate what is coming from outside, and then two, let's anticipate what is happening within our jurisdiction. We have about 190 hospitals across Jakarta. So all hospitals were having these instructions and they have to monitor. So we have been receiving reports of individuals with similar symptoms of COVID. At that time, we're talking about early 2020, the authority to undertake the testing was not in the provincial government. It is at the national government, Ministry of Health. We have PCR machine to do testing for viruses, but we didn't have the reagent for apa namanya, extracting and doing the testing. Only labs that is authorized for certain virus, they will get the reagent for that particular virus. So SARS-CoV-2 was not on our list. So we didn't have the reagent, even though we have the PCR machine. So what happened was we keep sending samples collected from hospitals to our Department of Health, sending it to central government, to the Ministry of Health, the laboratory. However, we keep getting answer that the answer is no answer, basically, at that time. We didn't get, is it a positive? Is it a negative? Basically, we didn't get answer. We keep sending samples and we don't get answers back. Now, our team is reporting to the governor. The governor, we have been reporting this many. We have not heard anything back. What should we do? So we communicated with the Ministry of Health, demanding result, being informed to us. We didn't get any reply. This is talking about how should we deal when we are facing this kind of situations. What should we do? Should we just wait or should we do something? I decided to go to the public and report to the public that Jakarta, it was 1st of March 2020. I went out to the public and said, we have had X patients under surveillance, under monitoring. And these are numbers of individuals detected with symptom of COVID. And it was a news that the country has been avoiding for weeks. Nobody wants to talk there is COVID in Indonesia at that time. And it was I announced it in the morning, late afternoon, the Minister of Health were saying the number reported by Governor of Jakarta was incorrect. Okay? So basically, they were saying there is no cases. And we come up with that. But what are the key aspect here? Why there is that difference? The Ministry of Health, who has not been out front in explaining what is happening, and our approach that has been, let's open up.
Halo teman, jumpa bersama saya di Politik Dangi. Ini sangat keren teman-teman ya. Bagaimana gebrakan Anies Baswedan ya, mantan gubernur Jakarta yang sangat fenomenal ini teman. Dan kalau kita melihat bagaimana ya Anies baru-baru ini mendapat top survei teman-teman. 3 teratas ya. Artinya top 3 survei bakal calon presiden 2029. Menurut saya ini sangat keren ya. Ini sangat oke, ini sangat luar biasa. Mengingat Anies bukan pejabat publik saat ini. Mengingat Anies bukan orang yang menjabat di pemerintahan ya. Ya. Top surveinya yang sangat mengejutkan juga adalah KDM ya, Deddy Mulyadi, kemudian Prabowo dan Anies. Ya, beliau berdua di atas ini adalah pejabat publik teman-teman ya. Deddy Mulyadi adalah gubernur Jawa Barat yang aktif di media sosial juga. Kemudian bagaimana Prabowo, kita tahu beliau ada presiden. Namun yang menariknya survei Prabowo ini malah turun ya. Bahkan di bawah Prabowo itu adalah Anies teman-teman. Yang notabene bukan siapa-siapa ya, artinya bukan pejabat publik. Namun Anies bisa mendekati survei daripada Prabowo. Ini kan sangat luar biasa teman. Dan menurut saya ini sangat keren ya. Kalau misalnya nanti 2029 ya kan, survei Prabowo ini semakin turun, ini kan adalah peluang yang besar bagi Anies, teman-teman, sebagai bakal capres 2029. Menurut saya ini sangat keren ya. Bagaimana kita tahu kepuasan terhadap Prabowo pun menurun ya. Kepuasan terhadap Prabowo pun menurun saat ini, dan ini membuat geger, teman-teman ya. Dan membuat geger sekali. Nah, semakin bulan ya, hari demi hari ya, tentu masyarakat menilai ya siapa pemimpin yang layak 2029. Ini adalah pertarungan yang sangat luar biasa 2029 ini. Bagaimana pergerakan Anies Baswedan dan partai politiknya pun ya kian masif, teman-teman, membangun kekuatan politiknya mulai dari bawah, membangun partai politik. Dan menurut saya ini sangat keren, dan kita berharap ya kan Anies Baswedan bisa menang di Pilpres 2029. Paling tidak partai politiknya bisa masuk atau lolos ke Senayan, teman-teman. Dan ini sangat keren sekali. Bagaimana menurut kalian? Kita diskusi di kolom komentar ya.